Be sure to go when it's time to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. All right. Victorious Cowboys. Let's get it. The name. Cowboys versus Panthers. Post-game analysis and commentary. Brought to you by Law Nation Sports. Let's get it. All right. Mama said there'll be days just like this. Yep. Ain't no party like the Cowboy party. But what about a Cowboys victory on a Sunday? Come on. Five, 4, 3, 2, and come on with it. Put a 1 in the chat if the audio is straight. Put a 1 in the chat if the audio is straight.
Ready? Run from it. Destiny arrives all the same. And now it's here. Or should I say, I am.
All right. Come on with it. All right, good afternoon, everybody. How y'all feeling, baby? How are you guys feeling about the game? The Cowboys ended up winning, and that is a pleasure, a plus for us. On top of that, let's see if we can go over everything that happened and occurred in this particular game. First and foremost, shout out to Cooper Rush. We got to give kudos and credence to Cooper Rush in this game, even though it was a situation and scenario that he fumbled the ball earlier, and it could have really put the game over the top. But neither here nor there. The Cowboys, Cooper Rush, he was 18 for 29, 214 yards, 3 touchdowns by the air, and he was sacked 1 time. On top of that, Rico Suave, 25 carries for 149 yards. Let me repeat, 25 carries for 149 yards on the ground. Ezekiel Elliott had 9 carries for 30. Kevontae Turpin looked like he was unstoppable. And on top of that, Lamb, 9 catches for 116 yards with one touchdown. There was some news and storylines about Micah Parsons, about the front office saying that they probably will not bring him back. Now, my thoughts of this, ladies and gentlemen, is when you look at the game, it's the hitting yards that Micah Parsons bring to the table. It's the hitting things that Micah Parsons bring to the table. He had over 8 pressures. 2 sacks in this game. Don't y'all know that his stat line, according to the information that was provided to us by Fox, he's right there in company with J.J. Watt, I believe. He's right there in company with my guy, Reggie White. And the Cowboys better figure out ways to make sure they pay that man. They better. Because at the end of the day, he sparks up the entirety of the team. He sparks up the everything with this team. And let's not forget about Osa. Osa had a great day as well. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Trade Parsons for who? Yeah. Who you going to trade him for, basically? Yeah. So how y'all feeling, man? I hope all is well with everyone. Hope all is well. Let me just double check, make sure.
Reason why tonight this afternoon, that they just do not play the run very well. But give Rico Dowdle a lot of credit. He got his 25 carries. He got 149.
Can y'all hear
yards.
audio straight?
That's outstanding. He's been, since they decided, and what's the shame about it? Why in week 11 do you all of a sudden decide to make him the featured back in your offense? But here you are. He's been one of the best when it comes to that. The successful runs he has, 4+ yards per carry, just been outstanding. There's no negative plays with him at all.
No, he finished with 149, 6 yards a carry, to your point, and each week now he's setting new career highs for rushing. 112 against the Giants, 131 then on Monday night against Cincinnati, and then a new career high, third straight game, over 100 yards rushing. That's the first time the Cowboys have had a rusher run for over 100 yards 3 straight weeks. You got to go back to 2019, pre-COVID, Ezekiel Elliott doing it. From October 13th to November 4th, starting with the Giants, ending with the Jets there. So, yeah, Rico, with the amount of opportunities, and got to give credit to this offensive line as well, certainly with backup parts, but these guys are blocking, opening up holes. Edoga leaves the game, gets hurt today. Guyton slides in at left tackle. Then you lost T.J. Bass.
And Edoga comes back into the game. So, yeah, they're going to, it sounded like to me there was, with Bass, was it a thumb injury? Is that what they were talking about? I don't know. He was sitting on the field. Maybe we need to check that out. I didn't exactly hear what his specific injury was. I thought it was a thumb injury, so maybe that's something that they felt like that he just couldn't go back in. Is that what
they ruled him out with a thigh
injury? Okay. I thought I heard thumb,
something
and I was
thumb or thigh.
Yeah, there you go, thigh injury. Yeah, so. Yeah, we'll see. This line has done a much better job. It starts really with Steele at right tackle. I think he's been, played much better. Zach Martin he was very limited in what he could do. He was really banged up, and, he just wasn't healthy enough to play at a high level that we're used to Zach Martin playing. And so, they've gone a little bit of having to fill his, role with a couple of different guys, and it's worked out. I think it's helped Steele a little bit. I think it helped Beebe when he was in there. Smith is always going to play at a high level, and so we'll see what happens. Some more challenges coming up with Tampa, coming in next Sunday night.
877-881-1053 is the number to call. The number to text 87.
What I'm getting at is that Zach Martin, was he really that banged up? This dude Rico is averaging about 6 yards per toe. You can round that up, 5.8. Was he really that banged up, ladies and gentlemen? Is that what's going on? Because at the end of the day, jeez, that's crazy good. Crazy good for Rico. Crazy good for this team. If you team Mike McCarthy, I've been saying this every day now. If you team Mike McCarthy, put MM in the chat. If you want Mike McCarthy gone, put no MM in the chat. So are you guys reconsidering bringing back Mike McCarthy? But keep in mind that this team that we played against is the 32nd ranked overall, 24th in offense, 32nd ranked in defense. So how much is that a carryover of what we were able to do? Because at the end of the day, we can look at the optics of it and say, all right, cool, that's what you're supposed to do is the Panthers. But the Panthers in the last few weeks, they've been playing hard over there. And not to be crazy here, the Eagles were fighting for their life against the Panthers. They were fighting for their life. If the Xavier Leggett guy didn't catch that ball or didn't drop that ball, they would have won. So we got to quantify all of that. Nick Chubb, devastating. Oh, and I heard news that the recovery for Trayvon Diggs is going to be 8 months. Let me say this again. 8 months for his recovery. So that put him right around the start of the next season almost. If the Cowboys go through this offseason, not bringing in another DB, we in a world of trouble. We in a world of trouble, man. Yes, indeed. So let's see what else we got over here. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Let's get it. Wow, man, I thought I hit the button. Here we go. Let's get it now.
They're, playing with probably a lot of backup guys, and maybe not the best rosters. That you're going to have some problems like that.
Again, it was, you had 3 players tied with 5 tackles to lead the team. How about Maris Leofau today in place of DeMarvion Overshown?
Was going to need him to be really big in this football game because he'd been primarily just a base personnel player, and the Cowboys do play a lot of base defense, but we talked about him in the pregame show as well, that what were your expectations of him? Here's a guy that's always around the ball when there's a turnover. And so that's something he did at Notre Dame. You always saw him around the football. And once again, he gets the opportunity to play today. It's great to see him and Kendricks play. Both got that hair flying out of the back of their helmets, and they're both running the football the way that they do. But nice job by Maris Leofau stepping in and playing. And, here's the Panthers. As you look at the Panthers, really, didn't get much going, in the running game today. And I think
Not
that,
at all.
because
32 yards.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys did a great job. When this game was close, Carolina just could not run the ball, and we're really, really worried about that. Cowboys have played really some quality run defense the last several weeks against these RB1s for these football teams.
They have, and then Adam Thielen, who had a really good game last year when these two teams played, only 5 catches, 51 yards. He was the most targeted receiver for Bryce Young today, but we're able to keep Adam Thielen in check. They were all over Bryce Young today. When you look at 6 sacks, 2 for Micah Parsons, Odigizua Osa getting 1, Carl Lawson. Everybody was chipping in.
It was going to be, we like to talk about the things that, when we break these things down, when you talk on our show 105.3 The Fan, the G-Bag Nation, we're talking about the fact that this Carolina offensive line was going to have problems with movement. And we started to see that. We saw the guys, Mike Zimmer did a good job of kind of mixing up some fronts, giving it some different looks, but the twist stunts. Carolina's got a little bit of a head.
My guy says, Young Star says, Law, did Amani Oruwariye make up for his mistake Monday? Well, the first touchdown that the Panthers was able to score today, you see Amani Oruwariye pretty much wet in the bed there. But, I would say this, though, with Amani. There shouldn't be that much talk about that. It should be more of like, hey, he was a practice squad guy that made a mistake. What else do we need to be talking about? That should have been the conversational piece. But it is what it is, Cowboy Nation. I got to make this a quickie. I got to go. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Appreciate y'all support, your love, and adulations. I just want to give you guys the quick rundown of the Cowboys versus Panthers. Salute to the Cowboys. Let's get it one way or another. DC